get to that point in learning English, right? You're pretty good. C1 level, maybe? You can communicate.
Yeah, definitely. You've put in the hours.
But then you start thinking, what's the next step? How do you go from just very good to sounding, well, really exceptional, almost like a native speaker?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? That jump from, let's say, competence to real mastery.
And that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're looking at how to make that leap.
It often comes down to the subtleties, the things you might not have even noticed when you were starting out.
And we've got a great guide for this. It's a document, C1 level tips to help improve your English level. It's from the folks at Learn English Lab, you know, their YouTube channel.
Right, I've seen their stuff. It's usually quite practical.
Yeah, this document feels like a roadmap, really, for taking that strong C1 English and just polishing it, taking it higher.
And what's good is it seems very actionable, not just theory, but actual things you can do.
Exactly. So our mission today, for you listening, is to pull out the absolute best advice from this guide. The stuff that can really help you break through that, you know, that advanced plateau.
We'll be covering quite a bit.
Yeah, conversation, vocab, fluency, grammar, reading, writing, even cultural bits. It's pretty comprehensive.
It is, but we'll focus on the bits within each area that really make the difference at this C1 plus stage.
Yeah.
So where should we start? Maybe just talking? Conversation.
Yeah, sounds good. Because by C1, you know, ordering coffee, basic chats, that's probably fine.
Easy peasy.
But what about those real conversations? The ones that go off script, you know?
Yes. The document makes a really good point about this. Shifting from those textbook dialogues to, well, real life, which is messy and unpredictable.
Totally, like a job interview, and they throw you a curveball question, or you're in a debate, trying to think on your feet.
Or even just a social chat where the topic bounces around.
Yeah.
Or a negotiation. Precision really matters there.
It's handling that unpredictability, isn't it? With confidence.
And they use a great example of this chat between Alex and Maria about some ethical dilemma at work.
Right.
It's not straightforward, and Maria says something like, that's a tough call. I believe in transparency, but, you know, in competitive markets, maybe it's strategic, not deceptive. It's nuanced.
Yeah, that ability to articulate the gray areas, that's definitely advanced.
And it's not just the idea, it's the word she uses, the phrasing.
Okay, like what?
Well, the document points out phrases like, that's a gray area, instantly signals complexity.
Right.
Or, I see where you're coming from, shows you're listening, understanding their point, even if you don't agree. Then there's, let's agree to disagree. Very useful. Diplomatic.
Keeps things civil.
Exactly. And if I were in your shoes, showing empathy, these aren't just fillers. They manage the conversation.
So it's not about just memorizing a list of phrases.
No, not at all.
It's understanding why you'd use them, how they fit, how they make the conversation flow better, sound more, well, real.
Precisely. It's the intent behind them, the social function.
Yeah.
So, okay, how do you get better at that?
Well, the advice is pretty hands-on. Record yourself. Respond to prompts, ethical dilemmas, current events, social questions, whatever.
The record and listen back technique.
Yeah.
Always revealing.
Yeah. Because you hear the hesitations you didn't notice, the awkward phrasing, maybe spots where you could have been clearer or used one of those more advanced phrases.
It gives you that objective distance. And they mention tools too, right?
Yeah, VoiceThread and SpeakPipe. For getting feedback, hearing yourself as others might. It helps bridge that gap between what you think you sound like and reality.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's conversation covered. What about vocabulary? That feels like a big area for C1 folks.
Huge. Because you probably know a lot of words.
Right, the quantity is often there.
But the focus shifts now, doesn't it? Towards depth. Really understanding the words, using them precisely, naturally.
Depth, exactly.
Yeah.
And the document says, learn words in context, not just lists. Maybe ditch the flashcards for a bit.
Maybe. But yeah, context is key. Because words don't live alone, do they?
No, they hang out together. Collocations. Those word pairs that just sound right.
Like strong coffee, not powerful coffee.
Or bitter disappointment, not sour disappointment.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound right.
No. And then idioms, they add so much color.
Oh yeah, kick the bucket, spill the beans. You need those for fluency, but also for cultural understanding.
And connotations too. The feeling a word has. The document mentions this as well.
Super important, like cheap versus inexpensive.
Okay.
Same price, maybe, but totally different feeling.
Right. So how do we build this depth? just reading more isn't quite enough, is it?
Probably not just passively. The document suggests focusing on thematic clusters, so grouping vocabulary around a topic.
Okay, like business words together. Or words about the environment.
Exactly. They give the example of business and innovation. So you learn disruptive innovation, scalable model, market saturation, profit margin, all connected.
Creates a kind of mental map.
Precisely. And crucially, seeing them used, like disruptive innovation, they define it, altering or creating a market, right? And then the example, Uber. Instantly clicks. You see what it means in practice.
Anchors the meaning, makes it stick.
Yeah. Same with scalable. Define it, able to expand efficiently. Example, an app handling millions of users. You get it.
So it's that context and real-world application that lets you move from just recognizing the word to actually using it properly.
That's the goal. Active, nuanced use.
Yeah.
That's advanced proficiency.
Excellent. Conversation vocabulary. Let's hit fluency next, that elusive quality.
Fluency.
Yeah.
Making it all sound effortless, natural, smooth.
Like you're not even thinking about it. How do we get more of that?
Well, a really powerful technique mentioned is imitation, specifically shadowing.
Shadowing. Okay, tell me more. What's involved?
Basically, you listen to native speaker audio, podcasts, news, whatever, and you repeat what they're saying out loud, either right along with them or just a fraction of a second behind.
Wow, okay. That sounds intense. Needs concentration.
It does. But that's the point. You're not just parroting words, you're trying to copy everything. Their pronunciation, intonation, the melody of their voice, the rhythm, the pauses, even sentence stress, which words they emphasize.
Are there specific things they recommend listening to for C1 shadowing?
Yeah, good suggestions. For current events, The Daily from the New York Times. Good quality news.
Okay.
For engaging storytelling, hardcore history, very immersive. And for interesting discussions, Freakonomics Radio.
Nice variety there. And challenging stuff, presumably. Not simplified learner material.
Definitely not. You need authentic, complex English to really push yourself at this stage. Train your ear, train your mouth.
And what about the specific pronunciation bits to focus on during shadowing?
Key things are connected speech, intonation, and sentence stress.
Yeah.
Often the last hurdles. Connected speech is how words blend together, what do you want to do? Becomes kind of like, what do you want to do?
Yeah, that catches people out sometimes. Hard to understand if you're not used to it.
It is. But learning to hear it and even do it makes a huge difference to sounding fluent. And intonation and stress, as we said, adds so much meaning and emotion.
Any tools for pronunciation help?
Oh yeah, Vervo's great for hearing words in different accents. Youglish is amazing, finds words used in YouTube videos, so you see them in real context.
Oh, cool.
And apps like Elsa Speak give personalized feedback on your pronunciation. Helps target weak spots.
Technology to the rescue. Okay, conversation, vocab, fluency. What's next? Grammar.
Grammar, indeed. Now, I know sometimes it feels like homework.
A little bit.
But at C1, it's less about the basic rules you already know. It's more about subtle structures. That's the term the document uses.
Subtle structures. Intriguing. So not just subject-verb agreement or basic tenses.
Nope, way past that.
Yeah.
These are the fancier bits of grammar that let you express really nuanced ideas. Add sophistication.
Okay, examples. What are we talking about?
Well, mixed conditionals, talking about hypothetical things across different times, like how the present would be different if the past had been different.
Right. Like if I hadn't eaten that whole pizza, I wouldn't feel so sleepy now. Something like that.
Exactly. Perfect example. A past action affecting the present feeling. Then inversion for emphasis. Flipping the word order around to make a point stronger.
Inversion. Give me an example.
Sure. Instead of, I have rarely seen such a beautiful sunset, you could say, rarely have I seen such a beautiful sunset. Adds a bit of drama, emphasizes the rarely.
Okay, I see.
Then cleft sentences. These help you focus attention on one specific part of the sentence.
Cleft sentences sound a bit technical.
They're useful, though. Instead of just the dog chased the cat, you could say, it was the dog that chased the cat, focusing on the dog.
Whoa.
Or what the dog chased was the cat, focusing on the cat.
Ah, okay. Directs the listener's attention.
Precisely. And lastly, nominalization.
Nominally what now?
Nominalization. Turning verbs or adjectives into nouns. Makes writing sound more concise, often more formal.
How so?
Instead of, we need to analyze the data, you might write, data analysis is required. See? Analyze becomes analysis.
Ah, okay. Makes it sound more abstract, official.
Yeah, something like that. So all these structures, mixed conditionals, inversion, clefs, nominalization, they just expand your range. that you say things with more precision, more style.
Makes sense. It's using grammar creatively, not just correctly.
Yeah.
What's next on the list?
Reading. We move into reading. Now, C1 learners are usually pretty good readers already,
True.
but the key now is diversity. Broadening your horizons, as the document puts it.
Reading different kinds of things.
Exactly. Academic papers, opinion columns, proper literature, biographies, maybe even legal stuff or business reports. Just expose yourself to different style, different vocabulary, different ways arguments are built.
Soaking up different ways English is used in the wild.
Yeah. And it's not just what you read, but how. The document suggests a more active, advanced strategy.
Okay, what does that involve?
First, maybe skim for the main idea. Get the gist.
Right.
Then, if needed, scan for specific bits of info. And here's the important part. When you hit new words, don't just look them up. Figure them out from the context first, then confirm. Highlight them. Maybe note them down.
Context is king?
And the real kicker, try summarizing each paragraph in your own words. That forces you to really process it. Active reading.
That sounds way more involved than just letting the words wash over you, but probably much more effective for learning.
Definitely. Turns reading into proper analysis. And they suggest some reading material, too.
Oh, good. Recommendations are always welcome.
For really sophisticated language and big ideas, Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari.
Heard of it. Supposed to be brilliant, but dense.
Exactly. For sharp analysis of world stuff, articles from The Economist, and for just beautiful, crafted writing, essays from The New Yorker.
Highbrow stuff. Definitely challenging. Okay, nearly there. What about writing?
Writing, yeah, often the scary one. But again, by C1, the basics grammar, structure should be solid. Now it's about refining your style, making it clear, impactful.
Style. Yeah, that feels more artistic almost. What makes for good C1 writing style?
The number one piece of advice in the document, edit ruthlessly. Cut words, rewrite sentences, shuffle paragraphs. Don't be afraid to tear it apart and rebuild it better.
Be your own worst critic, basically.
Pretty much. And focus on a few key things during that edit. Sentence variety, mix short and long sentences, different structures. Avoid sounding monotonous.
Right.
Tone, make sure it fits who you're writing for and why. Formal, informal, persuasive, informative.
Match the audience.
Strong topic sentences for each paragraph. Make it clear what each bit is about. And good linking words, consequently, nonetheless, in contrast to guide the reader smoothly between ideas.
Those transition words are crucial for flow.
Absolutely. And they give a great before and after example paragraph about social media and mental health.
Oh, those are always helpful. What was the difference?
The before was okay, but basic. Social media can be bad, makes people unhappy, they compare lives,
Yeah, a bit clunky.
The after was much sharper. Social media can negatively impact mental well-being by fostering a culture of constant comparison, often leading to feelings of inadequacy and increased anxiety. More concise, better vocab, smoother grammar, shows what editing can do.
Big improvement. Clarity, impact. Okay, final stretch. Cultural fluency and idioms.
Yes, this is where you really start to blend in. Understanding the culture behind the language, the subtle stuff, the jokes, sarcasm, idioms, proverbs. Even if your grammar is perfect, you need this layer.
It's often the hardest part, isn't it? Because it's not literal. You need that insider knowledge.
Totally. It relies so much on shared cultural understanding. The document gives a couple of common idiom examples.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, bite the bullet means, face something difficult or unpleasant bravely, like hate the dentist, but gotta bite the bullet.
Yeah, very common. Done that many times. What's the other one?
The ball is in your court means it's your turn to act or decide. Like, I sent the offer. The ball's in your court now.
Hear that a lot in business contexts. So yeah, knowing these and using them right adds that natural touch.
Definitely. Shows you get more than just the words. You get the culture.
Okay, wow, we've covered a lot. Conversation, vocab, fluency, grammar, reading, writing, cultural bits. It really is a full toolkit for that C1 plus level.
It is. And the document wraps it up nicely by suggesting a daily routine, a way to structure this ongoing practice.
A daily C1 routine. Okay, what does that look like?
They suggest breaking it down.
Yeah.
Maybe 15 minutes reading news aloud, BBC, Guardian, something like that.
Good for pronunciation and vocab.
Yep. Then 10 minutes on your vocab notebook. Maybe use Quizlet or Notion. Just reviewing, adding.
Active recall.
Then maybe 20 minutes shadowing a podcast, Spotify, Audible, working on that fluency, rhythm, intonation.
Mimicking the natives.
Then 15 minutes journaling, get writing practice, maybe use Grammarly or Hemingway to check it.
Refine the writing skills.
And finally, 15 minutes of actual speaking. Language exchange apps like HelloTalk or Tandem are good for finding partners. putting it all together.
That sounds actually manageable. Broken down like that. Hits all the skills.
Yeah, it's meant to be sustainable. The key thing they stress is consistency. A little bit every day. That's how you build real progress over time.
Makes total sense. Consistency beats cramming every time. Okay, so we've gone through all these strategies. What's the big takeaway message for listeners?
I think it's realizing that hitting C1 is amazing, brilliant achievement. But it's also a starting point for a different kind of learning.
That you face.
Yeah, a phase of refinement, paying attention to detail, really observing how native speakers use the language. Those subtleties we talked about, that's where the magic happens now.
Like climbing a mountain, you reach a high base camp, C1, and now you're tackling the final ascent to the peak.
Great analogy. And it's about quality, not just quantity. Using fancy words isn't helpful if they're not quite right for the context.
Precision matters.
Exactly. And that final thought from the document is perfect. Fluency isn't about speaking faster. It's about speaking better. That sums it all up, really.
Love that. So for everyone listening, think about which of these daily habits might fit into your life. Even just one or two done consistently, it adds up.
Absolutely. Keep at it, keep refining, and importantly, try to keep enjoying the process.
Well said. Okay, that's our deep dive for today. Thanks so much for walking us through that.
My pleasure. Until next time.